Hello everyone, welcome to MBA Karo. I hope you are all set to appear on CUET PG 2024. Most of the aspirants would be writing this examination for the very first time. So in this video, I'm going to give you the last minute tips, what you need to do on the day of the examination and how can you maximize your scores. Okay, what could be the possibilities of the cutoffs, etc. So if you are new to the channel, please do subscribe to the channel. First and the foremost thing is keep your essentials ready by today itself or maybe early tomorrow morning since the examination is in evening. So you might be able to take these things, bring out these things in the morning as well. Admit card along with self declaration undertaking. Okay, so it says that now some students are confused ki it has to be downloaded from NTA website. What is that self declaration, etc. So it is in the part of admit card itself. If you see your admit cards, in the top they have given your details, roll number, date of birth, photograph, and then you have the center details. Right below that, there is an undertaking. So I'll show you the image in the next slide. And you need to carry one original photo identity proof. Right, it has to be original. It can be Aadhaar, it can be voter ID, any such thing which is a government ID. Then an additional photograph. It is a must. Right, there is no option to paste a photograph, but they have mentioned in the instructions that please do carry a photograph that will be pasted in your attendance sheet. Usually in admit cards you have two photographs. One is the one which is printed and one you need to paste. But in this case you have to carry one additional photograph. And then you need to carry your transparent pen. Okay, so in many of the centers they may not allow you to enter if they may throw if the pens are non-transparent. So please carry a transparent pen only, and then you can carry your water bottles, etc. And that should also be transparent. Now this is what I mean by the declaration. Okay, so if you see your admit card, the upper portion has been cropped, so you will see the details, the timing of the examination, at what date and time, and what is the entry time, etc. And then you have this part. This is the declaration or the undertaking part, which obviously you will download the admit card from the NTA website, so this will be a part of it. Okay, so this you need to fill in I residence of this, and you need to sign here like this photo. Okay, and yes, so you have to paste your photo. So basically you will need two photographs. One you need to paste here, and then like left hand thumb impression, and the third thing is your signature. Okay, so this you will sign in the exam hall only. Okay, but these two things you need to do beforehand. And second thing is you need to carry photo two also. Like one is to be pasted here and second needed here. So two photographs needed for this examination. Now let's talk about the things that some hygiene factors. That's first thing is reach the center on time. Okay, you should the ideally the gate closing time is 4 p.m. So try to reach by around 3:30, 3:30, 3:45. That would be ideal because exam starts from 4:30. They will not allow you to enter beyond 4. So try to reach by 3:30 or 3:45 at max. And then while attempting the paper, although it does not have section wise things, right, it does not mention that these are the sections, but still the questions will be in a particular order. Let's say all quant questions will be together, all English questions will be together, okay, all reasoning would be together, and DI would be together. So there are four sections. Okay, one is English, one is quant, one is logical reasoning, and the fourth is DI. Okay, so have this section in mind. So start with the strongest to weakest. Suppose you are strong in English, start with English, then LR, then like whatever your order is, right? So what is that perfect order? That depends on person to person. Okay, it is different for different people. For example, some people might be good at QA, might start with QA. The only reason to solve it in a section wise manner is that boosts your confidence and gives you psychological benefit. So let's say if you are not good at English and you start with English, that will boost your that will bring your moral down because you might be struggling in the section. On the other hand, if you are strong with some section and start with it, you will gain confidence during the paper. Okay, so keep this thing in mind that start with the strongest section. Now you need to get to a flying start because like you have 75 questions in 105 minutes. Now in the first, let's say 30 to 40 minutes, you should be able to attempt half of the paper. Let's say 30 to 40 minutes, you should be able to attempt around 35 questions. So that in the later part, you can solve the difficult questions. You can solve questions like reading comprehension, which take time to solve. Okay. And that's how you can balance your performance. And maybe if time is remaining, then you can possibly revise some of the things or attempt the difficult questions. So keep the first few minutes for the easy questions. Okay, so easy topics and complete them in first 45 minutes. Now, easy topic not necessarily is in your strongest area. It can be in the overall paper. For example, you are good at quant, but there are some questions which are calculation intensive. Similarly, in reasoning, there is some puzzle or any such thing which might take time to solve. Okay, so in that case, look at the verbal section also. There might be some fill in the blanks, error spotting, or some other thing which you are comfortable with. Okay, so those are the topics that you're going to target in that first 45 minutes. Now this has a psychological benefit. Okay, since I've appeared on several examinations, over hundreds of examinations, and in all the examinations I noticed that if I start with my strongest section, I am confident throughout the paper. On the flip side, if you start with some difficult thing in the beginning, then you are in trouble. So starting should be easy, then difficult, and then whatever remains, that should be the way in attempting the paper. And don't panic, right? If the paper turns out to be difficult as per your expectation, do not panic. Just try to give your best. Avoid speed breakers. Now, what are speed breakers is they are questions which are either lengthy, okay, or unnecessarily lengthy. Let's say in a quant question, too much information is given and it requires a lot of calculation. Second thing, what could also be like a question is easy, but it appears easy, but it is tricky. Like let's say some number series, you are not able to figure out the logic, or let's say some visual reasoning, or some other question in which you are not able to figure out the logic, or let's say it is parajumbles in English, you are not able to figure out the sentence structure. Okay, so in that case, avoid those questions because that will just eat up your time. Leave them for the later part. Let's say in the last 15-20 minutes, you can try solving them. Okay, but not in the beginning of the paper. So these have to be avoided in the beginning and as well as in the mid. Once you have attempted most of the questions and you are confident, then only go ahead and attempt these questions. Do not mark flukes. Okay, it is an examination with negative marking, so there is +4 -1. So if you, let's say you randomly mark 20 questions, ठीक है, तो उसमें आपके नेगेटिव होने के भी काफी चांसेस हैं. So do not mark any negative answers, right, unless you have attempted sufficient number of questions. Let's say आपने 85, like let's say 70 out of 75 you have attempted 65 to 70 correct, then you have fair chance कि अच्छा अब तो सही चल रहा है, and then you mark those questions. Okay, otherwise do not mark flukes. Don't target any score. Okay, the score may be 300 also. Okay, so it depends on, like target should be मुझे 300 करना. Okay, if it is difficult, don't worry. If it is easy, try to achieve as high as possible. Do not target any score. Give your best. What happens when you target score is, let's say you target, किसी ने बोल दिया आपको 250 लाने, आपका क्लियर हो जाएगा, ठीक है, बट पेपर बहुत इजी आ गया, ठीक है, 280 भी सफिशिएंट ना रहे, 270 280 भी ले आए लोग, देन यू विल फील कि अरे और किया जा सकता था, आई वाज नॉट टेकिंग रिस्क, ओके, और आई वाज बीइंग स्लो. सो ट्राई टू बी एज फास्ट एज पॉसिबल, राइट. डू नॉट थिंक कि अरे तो पेपर बहुत लंबा है, बहुत टाइम है, आराम आराम से करता हूँ. ट्राई टू सॉल्व एज मच एज पॉसिबल. इफ यू फिनिश अर्ली, दैट्स ग्रेट, you can revise, right, but do not be slow. That's why I told you from the beginning itself, try to be as quick as possible in attempting the paper. Okay, so just give your best, because if the paper turns out to be difficult, you will be nervous कि ये इतना target नहीं हो पा रहा. So whatever the best you can do that in the paper. This is ideal time per section. This can vary from person to person. Okay, so this is no hard and fast rule. ठीक है, it can vary. Like I've written 25 to 30. Let us say किसी की quant slow है, so maybe can take 30 to 35 minutes ऑल्सो, कोई 40 मिनट्स भी ले सकता है, ठीक है, दैट डिपेंड्स ऑन पर्सन टू पर्सन, ठीक है। सो लेट्स से किसी ने एल आर फास्ट कर ली तो वो 15 मिनट्स में कर ली, क्वांट 40 दिया, वर्बल 25 मिनट्स में कर ली, डी आई, सिंस डी आई विल हैव लेसर नंबर ऑफ क्वेश्चंस, वेरी लाइकली दैट दे माइट गेट 10 क्वेश्चंस, नॉट बियॉन्ड दैट, ओके। सो डी आई तो जल्दी हो जाएगा, ठीक है। यूजुअली these three sections will be almost equivalent number of questions, so try to give slightly more to quant and LR because they take more time to solve, right? On the flip side, verbal में RC छोड़ के everything would be very quick. So RCs में let's say 15 minutes लगाए, दो RCs में 5 minutes में rest of the questions can be easily done. Okay, so this is a rough estimation. It depends on person to person. A person who is very good in quant may it'll take even less time. किसी ने LR बहुत जल्दी कर ली, can spend more time on other sections. But this is a rough estimate that you should not go beyond these timings. Like ऐसा नहीं कि DI में आप 30 मिनट्स लगा दे रहे हो, okay? That would be a wrong thing to do. So that will depend on the number of questions per section also. So don't go by this exact number, but just to tell you that you need to be vigilant about timings also, because कभी क्या होता है कि आप एक ही सेक्शन करते रह जाते हो, let's say you spend entire time in LR, QA and VA and later on you realize कि DI तो easy आया था, okay? That is why ensure that you see all the sections. Maybe in the first 40 minutes you can make it 10 minutes सारे section को देके देख लो कि किस section में क्या easy आया, क्या difficult आया, and accordingly attempt it. So if you navigate through the entire paper, that definitely gives you a benefit. So I solved a live mock of Kraken. So you can watch the streaming. Okay, it is available on my channel. You can just search for it, or you can see this. This is the thumbnail of that video. Okay, you'll be able to see that live mock attempt. In that, I showed that how to attempt the paper in an ideal way. Okay, what should be the strategy? How do you go about picking questions? Okay, so please have a look at it. That will give you some understanding that how to maximize your performance in the examination. So all the best to the candidates who are going to appear on CUET PG. And tomorrow we are going to conduct the exam analysis. So I will be writing COQP12 as well as 11. So on 12th March, I'll be doing the analysis at 6:15 p.m. from the center. And on 13th March also, I will be doing the exam analysis. So please do subscribe to the channel to watch these analysis sessions post the exam. And if you are new to the channel, please don't forget to subscribe to the channel for great content on MBA preparation. So this was it about CUET PG, how to tackle the examination, what are the do's and don'ts. Ensure that you carry the essentials. That is the first and the foremost important thing. Your admit card, undertaking is there in the admit card itself. 2 photographs, one need to be pasted, one carry to the examination center. Even if you do not paste the first photograph, since they are pasting in the attendance sheet, they will have glue and you can paste it. The second photograph in the admit card there itself. Left thumb for left thumb impression, and then pens and transparent pen. That's what you need to carry. And just relax. It's just an examination. Try to give your best. Do not target any particular score. So wish you all the best for CUET.